Hey there, it's Red. So today I will be doing a review of Asylum by Madeleine Roux. I originally saw this book randomly in Barnes & Noble. I'd seen it for a few times before I had actually picked it up, but I'd always been interested in it. I mean, if you're a horror fan, check out this cover. It's creepy and it's awesome. And then it's called Asylum. If you're a horror fan like me, you know that as soon as someone slaps the word asylum on something, you are automatically interested and need to know everything about it. This was no different. Unfortunately, I just did not enjoy this book as much as I thought I was going to. It had a little bit of a Miss Peregrine's thing going on in the sense that it used old pictures. It used specifically old pictures of mental institutions, which I thought was really cool. There weren't as many pictures as I probably would have liked. I felt like they were kind of far and few in between, but you know. And some of them were really cool. Some of these pictures in here were pretty awesome. I mean, look at this picture of this little girl with the scar on her head. It's really sad, but it's really creepy. It's really cool. I like the pictures like this that work within the context of the story. I thought were really cool. One thing I found a little annoying about the pictures is that most of them were like this. They're pictures of notes. And then they also tell you what's in the note in the actual story. And a couple of times it wasn't too bad. Like, I didn't really care. I thought it was kind of cool. There's this creepy old note. They have a picture for it. That's awesome. But when it starts to happen more and more often, I found that the majority of the pictures in here seem to be pictures of notes. And after the first couple of times, it's just not that exciting anymore. It's just not. It just seems like they're just putting pictures in there at this point, and it doesn't really serve a purpose, which I wasn't that into. A big difference between Miss Peregrine's and this book, Miss Peregrine's is dramatically better written. I really just felt like the actual writing for this was just kind of mediocre. I wasn't that impressed. At times it annoyed me so much I really struggled not to put it down. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed reading this book. It wasn't like I was tortured getting through it, but there were times when the writing just bugged me, that's all. As far as the actual plot for the story goes, it basically centers around this boy named Dan. He's a high school student. He's a little socially awkward. He doesn't really have friends. He's very academically inclined, top of his class. And he goes to this out-of-state college prep program. And the dorm that he stays in for this college prep program is actually a converted asylum, if I could speak. It's a converted asylum that had been shut down years before, and of course the college had bought it and taken it over and has been in the process of converting it. But, you know, I'm sure you guys probably guessed this part. There's a part of the asylum that the college has not yet converted for dormitory purposes. So it's all the stuff completely left as it was when the asylum was shut down. And of course, him and his new friends, they go and explore, and creepy stuff starts to happen, and you find out that this asylum was super sinister and they did a lot of terrible things, and it's pretty predictable. Like, you could look at this cover, see the name of it, and guess that that's what ends up happening. You know, and it's kind of a stock plot, but you know, that's okay. As long as it's done well, that's okay. I don't think that it was done very well. I feel like it had a lot of potential and it just didn't quite meet that potential. The characters were very flat. There were no characters that I particularly rooted for. I didn't like the characters, and not even in the we're meant to dislike them so it evokes a strong emotion you don't like them. No, you just don't like them because they're not interesting. I don't come to care for any of the characters. And for me, that's really important. I like to connect with characters, and these ones, they were just so flat and uninteresting to me. I felt like she was trying to make them different and interesting, and it just didn't come across well. A lot of Dan's thoughts felt more like the author's commentary than his actual thoughts, which was, it didn't work in the context of the story. Instead of helping us get inside the head of the character, I felt like it just decreased the believability of the story. The other thing that kind of bugged me about it was how predictable it was. Now, I love to guess the ending, who the killer is, all of that stuff, like any person that's watching any sort of mystery or reading a mystery. I mean, it's just fun to do, but when it's so predictable that I can pretty much, I predicted like every last detail, that's not fun for me. That's too predictable. That's too easy. That's not suspenseful for me. I was not creeped out. I don't know, it just, this book was just okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just okay. I believe that it's the first one in a series, but the other books have not been written or they haven't come out. I don't know. And I will probably read them because I'm interested in seeing if the series will get better. Sometimes that does happen, and I still feel like this story has a lot of potential. I don't know that the writing will get better, but I see the story having potential, and I'm interested in seeing if we ever meet that potential. So we'll see when those books come out. I probably won't rush to buy them, but I will probably read them. Now that you've heard a lot of criticisms about it, I feel like I should mention something I did like. I like the idea for the story. I like the concept. It's creepy, and it really does have a lot of potential. I really liked her imagery when she was describing things that were outside of the pictures, and she was just describing the setting for the old part of the asylum. I really could imagine it. I could imagine this asylum, and that to me was creepy. And I liked that. That I give her full credit for. I feel like she really does a good job with imagery. I just wish the rest of her writing would catch up with that. I mean, the dialogue was not that believable. Some of the banter between the characters was okay, it was kind of normal, but whenever it came to intense conversations, talking about the intense drama that's going on in their lives at the moment, it was just so cheesy. I mean, it was just not believable dialogue. The serious dialogue was not believable dialogue to me. It was just cheesy. Like, I was reading this and I was like, no, this is not how somebody would react in this situation. This is not how somebody would reply to this. It wasn't believable. That's what it comes down to, is it wasn't believable. So what this boils down to, I'm not going to tell you to run out and buy it. It wasn't amazing. It kind of even borders on being good. It was just okay. I did not hate it. I did not struggle to get through it. I got through it okay, and that was great. You know, because the last thing I want is to find a book that I am just trudging through, and it's just so much torture to read. It was not like that for me. It's a pretty fast and easy read. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's just kind of quick, this might be good for you, and you might like it better than I did. And again, it has a lot of potential. I feel like at least in this first book, it did not meet it. And I really hope in the following books the characters get more interesting. I want to care about the characters, but I just don't. So that is all for this video. If you have read this book, if you liked it, you disliked it, or if you like me and you thought it was just okay, please leave a comment and let me know. I love discussing these books with you. That's why I make these videos, because I love talking about books. If you haven't already, add me on Goodreads, add me on Twitter. I would love to be your friend, and I will try and get more videos up soon, and I will talk to you guys later.